I think we can all agree that Hollow Ichigo is one of the best, if not the best, anime transformation. Now, before we get into the details of how amazing this form is, I'm gonna need you to like and subscribe right this very instant, because without you and your support, we are nothing. And if you also want to support us financially, you can check out our Patreon with the link in the description below and a link as a pinned comment. And so, the entire arc of Hueco Mundo completely builds up to the Hollow Ichigo form, and for a good reason. And as we already know, Hollows are known to be the exact opposites of human beings. Which brings the question, what exactly separates a Hollow from a human being? Well, you see, humans can use logic, reasoning, and most importantly, humans can learn. Unlike Hollows, which are beings that ultimately run on nothing but pure instinct. They can't think for themselves, which is the complete opposite of a human, or so we would think. However, when it comes to instincts, these are unlearned behaviors that would more or less be our natural desires. And what would normally play into these natural desires would be a person's creativity, reflection, activity, sexuality, and hunger. You see, these are all things that allow us to commit to a certain action under a circumstance without even thinking about it, considering it would be a driving force that would make us commit to a certain action. The most prime example of this being a fight or flight response. Whenever you have this feeling in your body, you just can't help but allow this feeling arising from deep within to affect your reality by ultimately fighting for your life or suddenly running away from a certain danger. There's something that is non-existent, something that would cause you to ultimately make a decision in this situation, and that would ultimately be pride. Pride is something that we can't grasp, something that we can't see, yet it has a huge influence over us, and ultimately it controls what we do in our lives. And of course, Ichigo is no exception to this. As a human, Ichigo would naturally have these same instincts that determine his course of action. And while being a human, Ichigo can still commit a sin. To have pride is to have an excessive love for oneself, belief in your abilities, and your desire to excel everyone else. Pride is such a vile sin that it has often been considered as the root cause of the other 6 of the 7 deadly sins. Why don't you perform bankai, niño? No way. A prever on a spada isn't really an espada, right? Correct. I've gotta beat all the espadas in Hueco Mundo, so I can't be wasting my bankai on somebody who's not even an espada! Pride is the excessive belief in one's own abilities that interferes with the individual's recognition of the grace of God. When Ichigo fought Dordoni, he let his pride take control over himself, which caused him to hold back in this fight, where he could have potentially lost his life. That is, until Nell saved Ichigo and then got injured in doing so. You got hurt because of my stupid ego. And with that being said, Ichigo is forced to choose between his pride and his friends, not to mention his own life. and Dordoni has just as much pride as Ichigo.
What have you to be angry about? Your purpose is to protect your friends, and mine is to defeat you at your best. Don't you have any shame? Of course I do. I would suffer great shame were I unable to fight you at your best.
And when fighting Ichigo at his best, Dordoni gets utterly destroyed, which only happened due to his pride. You see, the most dangerous and reckless thing ever is to fight for pride. By fighting for pride, you are essentially fighting for a simple state of mind that ultimately doesn't exist, as a way to self-preserve one's ego. And in doing so, Dordoni nearly lost his life over something intangible. He practically lost his life over nothing, just like Ichigo, until Nell eventually saved him. Both Dordoni and Ichigo are the same because they both value pride. So much so to a point that they both put their lives on the line for their own pride, with pride being the sin from which all other sins arise.
Become a demon, Niño. Powerful like a demon. Ruthless like a demon. You must turn your heart to stone. There is no other way.
And while fighting in the realm of Hueco Mundo, Ichigo inevitably encounters a ton of inhuman enemies that he has to battle against. Ichigo fought hollows, and in doing so, he had to fight them back with his own holification. And through every battle with each inhuman that Ichigo fought, he began to lose his own humanity. Slowly but surely. Am I able to predict those things because I'm closer to a hollow now? Or have you become more human? Until Ichigo begins to lose all of his humanity. Now, why would Ichigo become a demon? This would be due to the fact that Ichigo sinned. Ichigo had committed the sin of pride, and then he eventually lusted.
I hear her. She's calling me. Get up. Get up. I will protect her! Become a demon, Niño. Powerful like a demon. Ruthless like a demon. You must turn your heart to stone. There is no other way.
Lust is a psychological force producing intense desire for something or circumstance while already having a significant amount of the desired object. Lust can take any form, such as the lust for sexuality, money, or power. And in this case, Ichigo lusted for power. Ichigo lusted so that he could protect Orihime. And with his sins, Ichigo became a demon, just like how Dordino told him to. Ichigo only sinned because he had his pride, with pride being the sin from which all of the other sins arise. Ichigo's pride led him into lusting, and that same lust is what caused him to become a demon.